Yo me llamo Luis Bisiche. Llegué a los Estados Unidos ilegalmente cuando tenía 9 años. Pasé por el desierto de Phoenix, Arizona. Ahorita estamos en el proceso de ayudar a varios estudiantes de DACA porque creemos que es importante traer a los estudiantes, ayudarlos con sus aplicaciones, ayudarlos con el proceso para así tener más gente soportando la causa, más gente en los libros, enseñar que aquí estamos presentes y que somos la minoría donde el poder se está transfiriendo de que antes no éramos nada en este país y ahorita ya somos un poder, una voz.
We need new generation, that's who you are. So if you are, from my perspective, looking out there, you do not know what joy I feel. You cannot experience it. Yeah. The joy that I feel in looking at all of you. The wonder of seeing all of you here. The wonder of seeing moms and dads who are gonna get nothing. And watching them bring their kids. Yeah. And they're gonna get nothing. And they didn't complain, and they didn't ask what was for them. They just wanted their kids to be free, to have a moment. I'm sorry. That's a wonderful process. I'm in politics, man. Everybody comes to my office, they want something for them. It was me. I went to an activity where I saw thousands of people that didn't ask anything for themselves. They wanted something for somebody else. That's pretty beautiful. That's the wonder of what we do.
Well, who applies for it, everybody calls them the dreamers. But who they are is a million strong. They're a powerful force. They're la FuerZa Juventud. These are the young people that came here as minors with their parents, crossing the border. Their parents suffered, worked really hard, prayed for them to get this victory, and now they got it. They got this victory. They're the best of both countries. Now they have to take this victory. They have to apply for the deferred action, and after like 6 weeks, they'll get a mica in the mail. It's an identification card. And after that identification card, they can go to Social Security and office and get their Social Security number. It takes 8 days to get the Social Security number. Then they can go and get their driver's license. And the very next time that the police stop them, they don't have to be sweating, they don't have to be freaking out. They take out their driver's license. Excuse me, officer, is there a problem? And then we expect you that after all of that happens, that on Inauguration Day, regardless who the president is, that you fill those streets 1 million strong. La FuerZa Juventud will join you and we'll get legalization for everybody across the board. That's who you are. You're the dreamers.
Ya tenía mucho tiempo de que estaba esperando una oportunidad así y pues hay que aprovechar mientras uno puede. Y es importante para que yo lo haga. No sé, porque a mí me ayudaron a llenar la aplicación. Honestamente a mí me ayudaron, me ayudaste bien, no me cobraron ni nada y yo quiero hacer lo mismo porque mi conciencia no me deja nada más decir, ok, ya me ayudaste, ya me voy. Eso es, por eso individual no. Y por eso estoy aquí involucrado en esto, porque quiero ayudar como me ayudaron a mí. Es importante hacerlo, que no.
It is clear to us that we must find new and different mechanisms to sign up the more than 1 million undocumented youth who are eligible.
My family came when I was around 6 years old to the United States. I came with my mom by herself. She was a single mother. And I went to school, graduated from Juárez, Benito Juárez High School. I got my associates in science from Harold Washington. I plan to go back to school. And thanks to this, I feel like I'm able to go to school now. I'm able to finish, get my master's in architecture, because that's what I want to do. And I work, be here at least for 2 years, that I won't be scared, be able to get my license so I could drive.
Whatever you want to say.
Well, I guess that's it. I'm just really happy that this happened. I guess I'm the first one.
In order to qualify for deferred action, you must have come to the United States before you turn 16. You must be at least 15 years old and younger than 31 years old as of June 15, 2012. You must have continuously resided in the United States since June 15, 2007, and must have been present in the United States on June 15, 2012. You must be in school, have received a high school diploma or GED, or have been honorably discharged from the military or Coast Guard. You must have entered without inspection before June 15, 2007, or have expired or undocumented status as of June 15, 2012. You will not qualify for deferred action if you have been convicted of a felony, a significant misdemeanor, multiple misdemeanor offenses, or otherwise pose a threat to national security or public safety. A significant misdemeanor is an offense of domestic violence, sexual abuse or exploitation, burglary, unlawful possession or use of a firearm, drug distribution or trafficking, driving under the influence, or any misdemeanor for which you are sentenced to more than 90 days in custody. We begin the application with the G1145, E-Notification of Application Petition Acceptance. The applicant should write their name the way it appears on their birth certificate in the appropriate boxes at the bottom of the page. They should also provide an email address as well as their cell phone number. They will get an email and a text message notifying them that USCIS has received their application. They will also get a receipt number with which they can track their application. Once the applicant has been notified that their application was received, they will stop tolling a legal presence in the United States. Starting on Form I-821D, the applicant should write their full name, the way it appears on their birth certificate. The applicant should also provide an address they would like all their documents to be mailed to. The applicant should also answer question 3A, Are you now or have you ever been in removal proceedings? If the applicant was intercepted at the border upon entry, but has no paperwork, it should be noted as an expedited removal on Part 7 at the end of this form. On the second page, the applicant will fill in their A number. They will only have this number from removal proceedings or from a previous work permit. They should only provide a Social Security number if it was obtained legally through a Social Security Administration office. Under no circumstances should any fake Social Security number be filled in. Information about place of birth should be taken from their birth certificate or passport. The only place of residence listed should be U.S. For other names used, the applicant can put down maiden names, or if a majority of the applicant's documents have only their first name and one last name, the applicant should write it here. For U.S. entry information, the applicant should provide the date they initially entered the United States. If they cross the border without inspection, it should be as close to the date as they can remember. For place of entry into the United States, they should put where into the United States they first crossed. For example, Texas border, Arizona border, or California border. For status of entry, most applicants will put no lawful status. However, if the applicant entered with a visa, note the type of visa here. If they entered with inspection, most should have an I-94 arrival record. Ask to see the paper and write the number on the left-hand corner in the section provided. For education information, put whether the applicant is in school or is a high school graduate, and then put the name of their school followed by the city and state. For last day of attendance, they should put the day they expect to graduate or the day that they graduated. On the third page of this application, we start by asking if the applicant arrived in the United States before June 15, 2007, and if they have been continuously residing in the United States since June 15, 2007. The answer to both of these questions should be yes. Next, it asks them to list all the addresses they have resided since they have entered the United States. They should start with their present address and work their way back till the date of their first address matches up closely with the date of their initial entry. There should be no gaps in the dates between addresses. The last section of this page asks them to list all their absences from the United States since June 15, 2007. Ideally, the applicant will be able to leave this part blank. On the next page, the applicant is asked a series of questions regarding past criminal activity. Make sure you read the questions out loud, and the applicant understands that they must answer all of these questions honestly. If the answer is yes to any of the questions, please refer them to legal assistance. On the next column, if the applicant can read and understand English, check 1A and continue on to the requester's certification. Please make sure the applicant signs inside the box with their full name, the way it appears on their birth certificate. On the 5th page of the application, if you are a volunteer working under an organization or a congressional office, you can leave this page blank and move on to the next one. The last page is to be used in case you need extra space to elaborate on any of the previous questions. Most likely, this space will be used to add more addresses to the applicant's list of previous residences. In this case, you would reapply the applicant's full name the way it appears on their birth certificate, and then write page 3, part 2, item number 2A. On Form I-765, Application for Employment Authorization, the applicant will begin by checking the first box next to I am applying for, permission to accept employment. The applicant should then fill in questions 1 through 8 using the same answers from Form I-821D. The applicant should only provide a Social Security number if it was obtained legally through a Social Security Administration office. If the applicant has ever been issued an alien registration number or I-94 number, they should provide it under question 10. The vast majority of applicants will answer question 11, have you ever before applied for employment authorization from USCIS, with no. The answers to questions 12 through 15 must be the same as the answers provided on Form 821D. Pay special attention to question 12, which notes the date of last entry into the United States. This date must be before the applicant's 16th birthday. For question 16, write C in the first set of parentheses, 33 in the next set of parentheses, and leave the last set of parentheses blank. The applicant must sign their full name as it appears on their birth certificate and also provide a telephone number and the date that the application was filled out. On the worksheet for Form I-765, the applicant must provide their full name as it appears on their birth certificate. For Part 2, financial information, if the applicant is a minor who still lives with their parents, they can answer questions 2, 3, and 4 with 0. If the applicant has been at their current job for a year or longer, they should answer the questions as accurately as they can. Under Part 3, additional information, write a brief statement regarding why the applicant needs a work permit. For example, to continue their education, obtain a job, or keep their present employment. There are 4 categories of documents that must be presented as proof of qualification for deferred action. Those categories are documents demonstrating identity and age, documents demonstrating arrival in the United States before the age of 16, documents demonstrating residence in the United States since June 15, 2007, and presence in the United States on June 15, 2012, and documents demonstrating enrollment in school, graduating from high school, or a receipt from a GED or vocational institution. Examples of documents demonstrating identity and age are foreign passport or consular identification card, birth certificate with English translation, school ID card with photograph, library card, tourist visa, or U.S. military ID card. Examples of documents demonstrating arrival in the U.S. before the age of 16 include school records such as transcripts, report cards, or diplomas, medical records such as patient histories or physical examination reports, Employment records such as wage receipts, copies of employer-issued checks, or financial records such as utility bills, hospital bills, ATM receipts, or tax forms. These same documents can be used to demonstrate their residence in the United States since June 15, 2007, and also their presence in the United States on June 15, 2012. Documents demonstrating enrollment, graduation, or certification include diplomas, GED certificates, report cards, school transcripts, and in the case of demonstrating current enrollment, a school ID with 2012 is acceptable. A minimum of 2 sworn affidavits are acceptable for filling in any gaps in the last 5 years. An applicant's documents must be considered on a case-by-case basis. For example, an applicant who is 17 years old would be able to use their middle school transcript to prove their presence in the United States before their 16th birthday. A 28-year-old applicant, however, would most likely rely on bank statements or work pay stubs in order to prove their presence.